These are the most asked for updates to come to Rust console that we could be seeing in 2024 or definitely within 2025, as well as some new news on a new way of playing the game, not only moving around the map but also living as well. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Rust console update video. Today we're going to be basically branching off from the video I made last, which was covering questions via the community tab that I have, and in the comment section a lot of you were asking for caves and swamps, and in response to this, Pedro said that he keeps up with the demand on updates that we have. However, swamps and caves are not at the top of the pecking order and the priority list that people are asking for. So I asked the question, what are things that are ahead of swamps and caves? And he gave me just a couple examples that are the most popular things people are asking to come to the game. Pedro said, hey, sure, so minis are a big one, as well as backpacks and the industrial systems. Now these are just three big examples of what the community want ahead of basically swamps and caves, for example. So we're just going to talk about these three individual things, and there is a big thing I want to talk about when it comes to minis, and I did ask this question to Pedro. However, at this moment in time he has not replied to this, so I could be wrong or I could be right. So when it comes to minis, there are a variety of factors that go into whether it's going to work or not. One thing you have to really factor in is it going to work on the modded server specifically, because the rendering in thing is a really big thing when it comes to minis, and as well the speed of which minis and scrappies basically fly at, because ultimately these modded servers is where everything is going to get tested to its limits, specifically the 3x servers which I host, which is CNQR Warfare 3x for clans. Yesterday we just had a 50-man pull up to another team to basically pummel them, and I'll hopefully have some gameplay in the background. It was so laggy just seeing 50 players on the screen. It wasn't laggy to do with them shooting rockets or anything of that nature. It was just the pure fact that 50 people were running all together, and that just caused lag. So imagine multiple scrappies, for example, in the air. It just wouldn't work. As well as, one of the things that is very important is rendering in. So rendering in stuff, you can obviously experiment with this by being an admin on your own server and flying around. Now, whilst yes, I've already covered that, it's not exactly the same, because you could either be in vanish mode or you're just simply one entity being that person, whereas you're in a scrappy or a minicopter, which is a different entity where it's going to render in for everyone and it's going at somewhat of a fast speed. However, there's one thing that leads me to believe that minis could actually be closer than we maybe think, and this is just my belief and my opinion, basically based off what I know and everything that I've seen on the internet surrounding minis, from, you know, devs and just people in general talking about whether minis should come or not. Now, one of the things we talk about when it comes to air transportation is how hard it is on PC to control. Once you get the hang of it, it's fine. However, at first glance, it's not a piece of cake. Now, we don't really see or haven't seen any transportation that has this sort of difficulty when it comes to basically handling it and getting around the map. Horses, you don't really have any difficulty. However, with the introduction of submarines and a new thing that we'll be talking about just in a sec, submarines is hard to control, and if you steer too much to the left or right, it's just going to go way left or way right. And if you have, you know, driven or transported within these submarines, you'll know that it's not easy at all to get around the map. And I think, you know, this is one step forward into this being implemented into the other transportations, such as minis and scrappies. If you really think about it, it has the same sort of feel. Like if you drag too much, like over power steer, it's just going to completely go out of bounds and you're going to lose control totally of the vehicle you're in. And not only does this apply to, in my opinion, minis and scrappies, it also applies to cars, which, you know, could be on the horizon. We already have Junkyard that is in the works and has been in the works for kind of a few years now, and we've also seen it come in game. So minis pretty much is the big one, he said, as well as backpacks and industrial systems. Now, I've obviously posed a question about backpacks, in which Pedro responded that there's no plans to add them at this moment in time. However, backpacks are a really good thing to add. I'm not sure it's going to be that big of a deal, like to add it into the game, and it's not going to pose too many performance problems. However, it's a really cool feature, and I think a lot of people would benefit from having this in-game. And the last one being industrial systems. I need no introduction to industrial systems. It's a really good update, really healthy for the game, and I think Rust console could really use with an update such as this instead of another big monument. And as time goes on, I'll ask these questions again to Pedro, whether they're going to be in development or if there's anything we can know about these updates to come in the future. Now, of course, everyone was talking about how you're lying and this and that, and people were really sad that Tugs didn't come with this update. However, we've got some good news. I wasn't lying. Maybe I was about a couple days to a week off, but tugboats are going to be added. As I said, more updates could be coming, because in the dev blog it did say that more updates could be seen within the PTB, so stay tuned within the PTB Discord. And I was correct, and you know, the dev blog really kind of held up his bargain on their end with this. Tugboats are going to be coming towards the end of June. That'll be the main branch. So up until then, they're going to be coming into the PTB for testing. This is not only going to bring a new transportation system to, you know, going to underwater labs, going around the map, or, you know, most importantly, going to rig, but it also poses you to play the game differently and have a totally different experience. You can now live on the water, and in my opinion, this is going to be a solo's dream, because when you're on clan servers or you're in a vanilla where it's just really deep of where all the numbers and clans play, you could just get away from that on land and just go on the sea and, you know, just live there, hopefully peacefully. However, I do think it would probably be a lot easier to raid or offline raid, especially if you're in a clan on these tugboats. It's going to have like a Sea of Thieves feel, and I think that's really cool, because I think Sea of Thieves is a class game. So tugboats are going to be coming. Minis, I believe, are on the way due to the mechanics of steering within the submarines as well. That's going to be in the tugboats. Obviously, Jade was very much right in saying that, you know, they're implementing the steering process into the tugboats, and they were just really experimenting and testing that out on the submarines first.
Yeah, same. Here's the thing. I think you're right. I think I know they're working on them. So either they've got to figure out the steering, because if you've had an opportunity to jump into the submarines, you know they're a little squirrely. So if they're that squirrely, the tugboats would really not make sense. So maybe they're dialing that in, or maybe they group it with oil rig update and then the harbor stuff, or maybe it's all of those things. I don't know.
Not only that, it could also be implemented on cars, which in my opinion is the August secret update. Could well be wrong, or it could be on the money. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you for watching as always. Subscribe if you're new around here. Leave a like on the video as it helps out a lot. My server CNQR Warfare 3x, if you're in a team, pull up. It is on Friday, I believe. Yeah, Friday weekly. Join up the Discord in the description. We have nearly 3,000 members, which is crazy to think. As always, take it easy, people. See you in the next one.